Hey there, do you ever wonder how successful network marketing leaders would grow their business if they had to start all over again?
Inside this episode of Coffee with K&J, we're going to share the exact steps we took in our own 90-day launch to go from a team of 1 to a team of 53 and do over $30,000 in sales in 90 days. So stay tuned. Hey there, I'm Jordan Maley. I'm here with my mom and business partner, Kathy Schneider. Welcome to Coffee with K&J. We are a mother-daughter team who help driven network marketers with the simple strategies to grow your business quickly online without confusion and overwhelm. And if you're watching this over on our new YouTube channel, we want to encourage you to become a subscriber so that you become the first to know every time there's a new episode of Coffee with K&J. Also, every time we do a new episode, we release a new resource to help you with your business. So you definitely want to be a subscriber so that you don't miss anything. By the way, we're super glad you're here. So, like I said, we provide free recaps and downloadable resources on our YouTube channel every single episode through our blog. And all you have to do to access that blog episode where you'll get the full recap and be able to download the resource is check out the description below for the link. So as you guys are coming on, I know today is our first day to stream. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're in our Facebook Global Freedom community. Say hello, let us know you're here. We want to know you're here. We want to know where you're tuning in from and what life is like right now over in your part of the world. So let us know that you're here. Say hello. We're super, super excited to hang out with you today.
Absolutely. So excited for you to be here. So, do you want success? You know what? This is one of our favorite quotes. So, when you think about success, this is something we really want you to think about. It's so simple, really, when you really stop and look at it this way. Find someone who has achieved the results that you want, and then just copy what they do. I mean, it's that simple. And of course, this quote's from Tony Robbins. We all love Tony Robbins. We all know, obviously Tony Robbins is one who has had huge success. And so when he comes out with these quotes, we definitely pay attention. But, it's so true. I mean, you think about it in all walks of life. I mean, as parents, we tell our kids, hey, watch what I do. And this is how we want you to be. I mean, it's how we teach things around the house. It's how we teach in business. It's really about every area of life.
It's how we learn as humans, right? Like kids grow up speaking the language they hear their parents speaking. Kids learn to walk because they see their older siblings walking or their parents walking around. Like we're copycats. That's human nature. So why not apply that to business?
Absolutely. Well, and it's really so simple. I mean, I think it's so simple that sometimes we overcomplicate things and forget that, always think we've got to recreate the wheel. Not necessary.
Absolutely. So today we're going to give you a sneak peek inside our own wildly successful 90-day launch. A couple of years ago, we got started with a new network marketing company, and we had a really strong first 90 days. And we want to share exactly what we did so that you can copy us and hopefully get the same, if not even better results in your own business. So, hey there, Paulette and Ceylin and Christy. We're excited to see you here today. We've got some giveaways, don't we, Mom? Before we jump in and get started today.
We do. We're so excited about this. So we want to remind, and we want to first talk about I guess, do we have a winner from last week?
I am going to announce that in the group separately. So
perfect. Okay.
Yeah. This is our first time on YouTube. We thought we'd kind of start fresh, but we'll definitely announce the winner from last week from our Facebook shares. So
perfect. Okay. So let's talk about what we're going to be giving away today. And guys, this is really exciting. So, our traditionally, this is how we've always done it. And this part of it's going to stay the same. So if you share from the Facebook page, okay, the Global Freedom Community page, or if you share from the YouTube channel, okay? Or you can jump over to our blog, globalfreedomcommunity.com/43, and you can hit the share button there, okay? So if you share from any of those areas, you can't share inside the Global Freedom Community group, okay? Facebook doesn't allow you to share outside of a group with people who aren't members of the group. So you're going to have to do it either from the page, the YouTube channel, or from the blog. But this week, what we're going to be doing is if you share from one of those platforms, one of those areas, and you come back and you comment shared, you've got to come back and let us know that you shared, because sometimes we don't see all those shares. So we've got to know that you shared. Let us know how many times you shared, and your name is going to go into a drawing for a $100 Amazon gift card. How exciting is that? You know? Yeah. Very exciting.
You can comment and let us know on YouTube. You can comment on the blog. You can comment on Facebook. We don't care. We'll check all the places. We'll make sure your name gets into the drawing. But just let us know how many times you shared, because for every time you share, your name will go into the drawing. So maybe you want to share the Facebook video, the YouTube video, and the blog post. Maybe you want to share something into your team group. Maybe you want to share it into your team messenger chat. However you want to share it, if you've got cool people in your world who you think would really get value from this, blast it out to them, let them know. This is going to be a really powerful video. It's one of our most popular topics. So I guarantee you, your people are going to want to know about it. And we want to reward you for sharing. So that's why we're doing the $100 giveaway. All you have to do is comment that you shared and let us know, and we'll put your name in the drawing. And if you share while we're here live and comment, we'll be sure to give you a shout out here on the broadcast as well. So, hey there, Joy and Sue. Great to see you here. Sue, all the way from Portugal, hot and windy. Man, that sounds like Texas.
Yeah, and then Christy in Minnesota, Joy in Florida, say Lynn, we know you're down in Florida, and then Paulette in Colorado. How we welcome all of you. We're glad you're on live with us. We're excited that you're here. So, all right.
So first things first, we've got a free download for you guys that we know you're really going to love. We put a lot of work, a lot of love into this free download. We give you a free download, a free resource every single week over here at Coffee with K&J. And all you have to do to grab it is go on down to globalfreedomcommunity.com/43. This is episode 43, believe it or not. Although this is our first episode streaming live on YouTube, this is episode 43, which is pretty amazing. We've been doing this for almost a whole year. And we've got our 90-day launch formula. So we're going to be talking about this in the video today. However, when you go and download the resource, not only do we break down all the numbers for you, but we show you exactly how to take those numbers and implement them into your own business and the steps that we took to launch our own business when we were brand new. And I think that's really cool, because we're not brand new anymore, but we certainly remember what it was like to be brand new. Exactly. And I think it's really important, that's why we want to share with you guys what we did when we were where you might be right now. Maybe you have a team of 1. Maybe you're the only person on your team. Maybe you have 10 people on your team. Maybe you've got a team of 50 or 60 people, but it's just kind of not grown a whole lot lately, right? Regardless, this 90-day launch formula is going to help you, because we follow and repeat this formula multiple times a year in our own business to anytime we need to relaunch or re-energize or, take off on some new growth in our team. So good morning, Dave from Dallas. Awesome. And Wendy from Michigan. From Virginia, it says Facebook user. And so if you've not approved for StreamYard to display your name, then sometimes we can't see who you are, which is totally fine. We're glad you're here. And Nancy, hello. Good morning, Nancy. All right. So run over and be sure and grab that free download over at globalfreedomcommunity.com/43. You're really going to want that download. It's super, super powerful.
Yeah, so, we are not special. And we want to really emphasize this, because this is what I remember back so clearly when I was in a situation where I was thinking, what our team is missing is duplication. And gosh, network marketing, it's all about duplication, right? If you're not duplicating, you really just have a job. So that just became my mission. And everything I studied, everything I read, any courses I took, I was just on a mission to figure out how to get the most duplication inside our network marketing team, inside, building our network marketing business. Okay. And here's what I discovered. The most important piece of duplication is a simple step-by-step system that others can quickly and easily copy. We already talked about you want to be copycats in network marketing, right? There's no reason in going out there and reinventing the wheel. But when it's got to be, what you're doing has got to be super, super simple. And guys, what we do is super simple. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing crazy. It's just so simple that others can just plug it and copy it, even if they're brand new. And that is why we are saying, so not only are we nothing special, what we teach is nothing fancy either, other than it's very simple and we don't overcomplicate it.
Have you ever felt that way? Like you felt like maybe the people who are top earners or top leaders, the people that are talking to you from the stage, do you ever feel like they have something you don't have?
Or they're doing something that they're not sharing. Yeah, right. Maybe there's something else going on behind the scenes. You're like, what are they really doing? Like, what do they do? I want to just go sit beside them. We've had people say this to us before. If I could just come and sit in a chair beside you and watch you work all day, honestly, we would bore you to tears, because what we do is so simple. You'd be like, is this it? Yep, this is it. And the thing is, it's about mastering the mundane and doing it over and over. And we're going to share today with you some of that information.
Oh, awesome, Christy. Thank you for sharing. Christy has shared 4 times.
Fantastic.
Total. That's amazing. So Christy now has 4 drawings, 4 entries into the drawing for the free $100 Amazon gift card, which we are giving. And for those of you who are maybe just tuning in, if you share today's broadcast either on YouTube, on Facebook, maybe you just want to share the blog post, regardless, then you're going to be your name's going to be put into a drawing to win a free Amazon gift card, $100 Amazon gift card. You have to come back and comment that you shared. Otherwise, we won't know that you shared. So you got to come back and comment. You can comment on YouTube. You can comment on Facebook. We don't care. We'll see it no matter what. But let us know where you let us know how many times you shared, so we know how many times to put your name into the drawing. And I'm going to go ahead and get this going across the top of the screen as well. Don't forget, this link is where you can go to grab the free resource that we have for you today. So
yeah, I think it depends on where you're watching. For some people, I think it's at the top, and some people it's at the bottom, depending on the platform.
Cool. All right. I didn't know that. So success loves speed. All right. One of the coolest things we've gotten to do in our business was back in 2011, we got to work with Eric Worre for about 1.5 years, I believe it was. This was Network Marketing Pro was like brand new. It was around, but it wasn't the Network Marketing Pro that we know today, right? And this was when Eric was still building a network marketing business, and we had the opportunity to work with him personally. And of course, we learned a lot of things, right? Like you sit down, you have coffee with Eric Worre, you're going to learn some things. But one of the things we learned that has just really stuck with us the most is that success loves speed. Okay. And I love this because we're really big on consistency, right? Like we don't want to teach you how to go out and sponsor 30 people in 30 days, because how the heck are you going to take care of those 30 people, right? Like I know last month we enrolled 10 people personally, and that's a lot to try to then help them get off to a fast start and things like that. So we're more the, slow and steady wins the race. We like to sponsor about 1 person a week on average into our business, about 50 people a year. And in doing that, we've been able to rank up to the top of our company, build a multiple 6-figure business. It works for us. So that's what we like to teach you, because we feel that's a number that's very, very doable. That being said, in the beginning, you want to get off to a strong, fast start. And that might mean 90 days of laser focus where you're working bigger numbers than you do the rest of the time.
Well, and I want to say, in the beginning, Jordan said, which is true, but let's say that you've already been around for a while, but maybe your business has kind of gone flat. Or maybe you've just never really, maybe it never got started or never got kicked off to start with. Okay. Yep. So maybe it's not the beginning for you, but maybe you're wanting to relaunch, or you're wanting to give it a big kickstart. That was kind of our push last month. We knew that we were ready to kind of give a big kickstart to our business, kind of a restart. And so we really we didn't do a really 90-day launch, but we did go into a full 30 days of really being laser focused on what we're sharing with you today, and being, doing extra numbers in order to really rev things up. So, but yeah, success loves speed. So you definitely want, at times, you're going to want to rev things up and do a little more. And so definitely always remember that success loves speed.
And the example that Eric gave is an airplane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when an airplane is taking off, they're full power, right? Like I've never flown an airplane, but those of you maybe who have, you'll know this even better than I do. I just kind of can imagine what it would be like in my head. But like a pilot's not going to put the plane on 20% power to get off the runway, right? I remember once we were down in the Caribbean. I can't remember the exact island. I want to say it was Jamaica. And the end of the runway was the ocean. So it was like, you're either going to get into the air or you're going to go into the ocean, right? It was like, you better hope that pilot goes full power down that runway so that by the time you get to the end of that runway, you're in the air and not in the water, right? And so the same thing is for your business. You got to go full power anytime you want to get to a new altitude. And then you can kind of throttle back. You can cruise for a while, but you've got to go full power. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? Let us know in the comments. Say yes if that makes sense to you. That idea of really going full power for that really like focused time period, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So next, we love this formula. This is super cool. I'll let Mom talk about it.
Yeah, these numbers. I want you to, if you're where you can write this down. If you're where you're not driving, okay, or you're not walking on a treadmill, I want you to write these numbers down: 25, 14, 3, and 1. Okay, 25, 14, 3, and 1. And we'll talk about what these numbers mean and what they're about. So if you've hung out with us much at all, okay, maybe you're inside Freedom Seeker University, or maybe you follow us, pretty closely inside the Global Freedom Community group, you will hear us talk about these numbers really, really frequently, okay? Mm-hmm. The reason is because these numbers, and I'm going to talk to you about what these numbers mean, but these numbers actually, they work, okay? They are they're proven numbers that work. And what they mean is 25, you want to meet and build relationships with 25 new people every week. Okay, maybe these were people even that you're already friends with on Facebook, but you've not had conversations with before. Just because, I had someone the other day tell me that they had a little over 1,000 friends now, that when they first started working with Jordan and myself, they only had, I think it was around 300. And they now have a little over 1,000. And this lady's question was, so do I still need to continue to meet 25 new people a week? And I was like, well, how many of those 25 have you actually had conversations with? How many of those 1,000? How many of those people have you actually invited to take a look at your business? And she was like, like 15 of them. I was like, okay, so that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the answer, right? So what I went back to was, I said, you know what? Probably what you need to focus on is, instead of meeting new people, you need to start having some conversations with the people that these people are on your list, okay? They're Facebook friends. Think of those people as being on your list. You need to have some conversations with those people and get to know them, build those relationships. And then what happens? So that's 25 a week, okay? You want to have those 25 conversations a week, and you want to invite 14 people to take a look at your business. Maybe you're asking them to take a look at the products. Maybe you're asking them to take a look at the opportunity. It doesn't matter. Okay, maybe you lead with the opportunity. Maybe you lead with the products. We tend to lead with the business side, but a lot of people lead with the products, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, but you've got to make those invitations. You've got to invite people to take a look. I mean, what if you had a restaurant and you had the most wonderful food in the world? You had hired the best chef. Everything was decorated. Everything was done. But you never put a sign up. You never let anyone know that you were open. Nobody even knew what you had inside those doors. It was just a building. And when you walked in, it was just the most perfect restaurant with the most luscious food. The atmosphere was just amazing. But you never advertised. You never told anyone what was in there. You never invited them to come inside. Do you think that business would survive? No.
I have a really sad story about a local business that did happen to. We went in, the food was amazing, and we just stumbled upon it on accident. We happened to be shopping next door. and we saw this new restaurant. We thought, oh my gosh, that looks kind of cool. And we go in there and there's nobody there. And I asked the owner, I said, hey, I said, how long have you guys been open? He's like, well, we've been open a couple of weeks, but we're not telling anybody yet because we want to make sure we're ready and that we have all of our, bells and whistles worked out before we start telling people. And it was really sad because after a couple of weeks, the owner knew me by a first name because I was like one of the only people who came in there, me and my husband. And then we told all our friends about it. We're like, you gotta go check out this new place. You gotta check out this new place. But I mean, they were so busy getting ready that they never told anyone that they were actually open for business. Like, that's not a very good way to launch a business, right? For sure.
Yeah, so the 14 are your invites. So 25 conversations, okay, with new people. Okay, this is not your follow-ups. These are 25. You got to get the new stuff, got to get those conversations going, building those relationships. 14 invitations. And guess what those 14 invitations are going to lead to? Those will lead to 3 presentations. These are people that will actually they may say that they'll watch it, but a lot of times they won't, or they may say no thank you when you invite them. That's okay.
They may not invite you at all. Also,
yeah, that's okay too. And so we want you to know that if you invite 14 people to take a look and you only have 3 people who actually say yes and actually watch the presentation, you are right on target. You are doing fantastic. Don't think about the 9 that didn't do it. Or 11, sorry.
We are not math teachers.
No. I was a reading teacher, not a math teacher. So don't think about the 11 that didn't, but I want you to focus on the 3 who watched the presentation. Then, of course, you do follow up. And what can you expect from those 3? You can expect 1 enrollment. Now, it can take 5 to 6 exposures. And so that enrollment may not be immediately. In fact, if the first person that you invite to take a look says yes, they watch the presentation and they enroll, and that can happen, then it's very likely you're going to have to invite maybe 10 more that don't ever make it anywhere before you finally get another enrollment. So my whole point is, and it could even be more than that, you don't know when those enrollments are going to come, but on average, when you take all the numbers, on average, over the course of, we'll say 90 days or, even 120 days and then 6 months and a year, and you keep going. On average, 14 invitations, 3 presentations, and 1 new team member.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3. I think it was actually 2. 2 of the people who joined with us last month in our business were a part of this original 90-day launch that we did 2 years ago, meaning back then they agreed to take a look. They watched the presentation 2 years ago and they just now said yes, right? And so why did it take them that long? I don't know. Timing wasn't right for them, right? It wasn't the right fit for them at that time. But we stayed consistent in following up, not all the time, but we stayed in touch. And when the timing was right for them, they said yes, right? So that's where that staying consistent really comes into play. And I want to say too, before we move on to the next slide, and we're going to talk like our own personal numbers and our exact steps over in the next slide. But before we get to that, I want to share, if you're doing like cold messaging or cold calls, it's not going to be 14. It's going to be a much higher number than that, right? So we don't teach cold messaging. We don't teach cold calls. There is nothing wrong with those strategies. They absolutely can work for you. That's just not how we build our business. So it's not what we teach. So just know, like, if you're out doing cold calls or cold messages and you're like, well, I cold message 14 people and I only got 1 yes, Jordan and Kathy are crazy, right? Like, just know it's 14 people who know, like, and trust you, meaning that you're friends on Facebook, they're following you, they're kind of in your world. You don't have to know them personally. You don't even have to know them for a long time. Right? That know, like, trust can be built very quickly because you've had 1 or 2 conversations before you make that invitation.
Well, and that goes back to that 25. We're talking about 25 that you're really having conversations with, you're communicating with, you're visiting with, you're building those relationships. Like Jordan said, you're building that know, like, and trust. Okay.
Yep. Exactly. Hey there, Mary. Great to see you here. And hello, whoever's tuning in from Illinois. Facebook doesn't always show us the name of the people who are commenting, so we apologize, but good to see you here. We want to give a little plug one more time, you guys, for our $100 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to be entered to win is share this broadcast and then come back and comment that you shared. Okay, so you can share from YouTube, you can share from Facebook, you can share the blog post. However, we don't care. Just come back and comment. Let us know how many times you shared, and that's how many times we're going to put your name into the drawing. So that next week, on next week's episode, we're going to announce the winner of the $100 Amazon gift card. All right, so you just share, comment, say, hey, ladies, I shared 3 times. Perfect. You're in the drawing 3 times. Okay. All right, so let's talk numbers. And if you really want to see these numbers, if you're like me, like if you tell me numbers, if you start spouting off numbers to me, they go in one ear and out the other. My brain does not compute numbers like when they're just spoken to me. I need to see them written down. So that's just me personally. If you're like me, I highly recommend you check out the blog post, globalfreedomcommunity.com/43. Even better, download our proven launch formula PDF that we've put together for you over there. It breaks all these numbers down in written form for you, so they're easier to follow along with. But let's talk about kind of what we did. All right, we talked about the 25-14-3-1, and we talked about how success loves speed, right? So during our 90-day launch a couple years ago, we started. We had been with the company for over 10 years. A couple of years ago, we made the decision to make a move, and we were starting over from scratch. We did not bring a single person with us from our prior company at that time, and we were starting over. We were a team of 1 person, I'll say. We're 2 people, but we share a position, so we were a team of 1, really. And we invited 315 people to look at our new business in the first 90 days. So success loves speed, right? That's a little more than 14 a week, right? I mean, we were like on a mission to go off and really create something strong, something powerful in our first 90 days. So we invited 315 people to take a look. 127 of those looked at our presentation. So that number is a little higher than the numbers we just shared with you in that formula. I think the reason, because we do have Global Freedom Community, a lot of people were just a little nosy. They just were a little nosy. They just wanted to know what we were doing. They really didn't have any interest in it, but they wanted to see what we were up to, which was totally fine. And so that's why that number was a little higher. But what's really interesting is out of those 315 people that we invited to take a look, 25 of them made the decision to join us during those first 90 days, which is almost exactly 1 out of 14. How cool is that? And so 315 people we invited, 25 said yes, and they actually made the decision to join us. Now, we also, we lead with the business, meaning we invite people to look at the business. If they say no, then we say, okay, awesome. Well, we'd love to have you as a customer, right? That's just the way that we do it. We have a lot of people on our team who lead with the product. That's a great way to build as well. There's really no wrong or right. It's what you're comfortable with. We personally lead with the business, but in doing that, we also ended up with 13 customers. So out of those 315 invitations, we ended up with 25 new business builders and 13 new customers. Now, here's the cool thing. We used a very simple system. You know, once people come in for inviting, presenting, following up, I'm going to talk to you about some of those tools in a minute. But because of that, within our first 90 days, that team grew to a team of over 53 people. And we ended up doing over $30,000 in sales as a team in our first 90 days. So do you think that might be worth inviting 315 people to get those kinds of results? Say yes. If you think it would be worth it, say yes in the comments. Let us know. I mean, that's worth it. It was 90 days of like crazy focused activity, right? But that activity is still paying us today, and it laid the foundation and set the standard for the growth of our new team.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really cool. So, Mom, why don't you talk about some of the tips for success, some of the things that we use, some of the tools we use, some of the things we implemented to help, facilitate that growth.
Absolutely. So We one thing that we do, and I think this is very, very important, is you want to help your new people launch fast. Okay, so when someone joins your team, or when they join our team, we have them follow a very simple 6-step launch process. And this includes a series of posts, it includes some live videos, and then some active reach outs. Okay, so this is like they're actually reaching out, asking people to take a look. They're not waiting on people to, come to them. Okay, they're actually doing the active reach out. So it's a series of posts, live videos, and then those active reach outs. And this really helps people to get off to a fast start. We had a guy who just joined us. Did he join yesterday? I think he did. And he launched. I mean, he actually did his first post literally within like 15 minutes of enrolling, and he comes over like we tell him to come to the group, post, let us know that you've done your first post so that we can cheer him on. And I was reading and I was thinking, what the heck? Like, I don't know that anyone's ever done it in 15 minutes before, but I was so impressed. I mean, usually it's at least that afternoon or maybe the next day, but he was right on it. He plugged in, he followed the system, and he's already getting leads. How cool is that? So you want to help someone launch very fast. And you've got to have that 6-step launch process. We also do the social media posting. So we follow it's a very value-driven social media formula, okay? You want to always be delivering value to your followers. You don't want to be spammy, okay? You don't want to be out there shouting out your company's name and your company's products and that kind of stuff. You want to build some curiosity, but but curiosity alone will not do it. You've got to make sure that you're providing value and that people see you as someone that they would love to partner with or love to purchase from, or that they trust. They're beginning to know you, they're beginning to like you and trust you. And that's like, it's a combination of this posting schedule or posting plan that we teach, okay? And then if we do a monthly virtual event, we do this on Facebook, and we started this in our 3rd month when we came here to our new company, and we have found that being very consistent with this monthly virtual event has been so key to duplication, because it's so simple for the brand new person to just plug in. And the new guy that I was just telling you who joined, he joined the virtual event over the weekend, and then he enrolled yesterday, and then he launched. Like, that's how it's supposed to happen, and it's just amazing. So it's a combination of those things, and I'm sure Jordan can expand a little bit on that, but basically it all comes down to showing them how to get started, teaching them about posting on social media the right way and not being a spammer. And then of course you've got to be able to keep track of these people. So we use a contact manager that lets us keep track. You can only imagine, like when we launched our company 2 years ago, 350 invitations and 127 presentations. If we didn't have some type of way to keep track of who we had done what with, it could have been total chaos. But having that contact manager helped us to know what step in the funnel people were in and what the next step was. It helped us to stay organized. Just like Jordan said, we had people that we invited 2 years ago who joined last month. Well, if we didn't have this contact manager where we could actually plug them in, it would be impossible we wouldn't still be following up those people. We wouldn't still be touching base with them, because we would have long forgotten about them without this contact manager helping us to remember who had done what and when they had done it.
Yep, exactly. So we teach all of these strategies inside Freedom Seeker University, which is our coaching program. It's currently closed for enrollment. We open it up a couple times a year. If you go to the blog post, which you'll see on the screen, globalfreedomcommunity.com/43, if you go over there, we have a link where you can join the wait list, and we'll let you know the next time we have a spot open up. But obviously, we can't teach all of our strategies in one video. We do our best to give you as much value as possible. But if this interested you and kind of caught your attention, definitely get on the wait list for Freedom U. And the next time that coaching program opens up, you'll be notified and you can learn some more about it.
I see Joy's comment here. And Joy, let me tell you, Jordan is she is the introvert queen.
Will
Okay?
you read her comment for the people that are on YouTube or in the group or whatever who can't see her comment? Will you read it?
Absolutely. So Joy says, she said, awesome job growing your team. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you. But she says, I am struggling with working full time and I doubt that I can contact 25 people per week. I'm an introvert, or she says introvert here. And so I'm going to tell you, I mean, Jordan's an introvert and in a lot of ways I am too. I'm more of a networker.
If you run into me in person, like always warn people before we go to events and stuff, like you're not going to see me hanging out. Like my least favorite thing, you guys, is like the cocktail hour, the social hour that happens before the event starts, where you have to actually sit around and have small talk with people. And I say it's my least favorite thing because it literally terrifies me. Like I hate it. Now, if I can get a few of our team members who I know and they're there and I'm talking to them, I'm totally fine. But like my husband and I walked in I guess this was about a year ago, to an event, and we were the first people to arrive of the people we knew. And I mean, I found the table in the back corner and I stood in the corner. And I was like, I'm not coming out of this corner until I see someone I know, because I'm not going to walk up to a stranger. These are all people in our company. They're all nice people. A lot of them knew who I was. I knew who a lot of them were. I was not going to go talk to them. It freaked me out. And that person, I am the biggest introvert. And all I can say is you've got to recognize, and this helped me so much, is doing some research and recognizing what being an introvert really means. It means that you don't get energized by spending time with people, right? You energize by spending time alone. That's why I prioritize. I get up at 5:45 every morning. You know why? Because I relish those 2 hours where no one else is awake. And I mean, like, there's no notifications. There's no talking to anybody. I get to just do my thing that early in the morning. That's what gives me the energy to then go out and do the things I have to do to grow my business throughout the day. Things like this video, things like inviting people to take a look. I mean, sitting down and, I sat down yesterday and talked to 15 prospects in about an hour. Why? Because I had the energy, because I've learned that I've got to give myself some alone time so that I can. And don't, you got to let your motivation has got to be bigger than your excuses. And I don't mean that in a negative way, because I used to be that way where, I was so scared to reach out and talk to people. And I hung on that so hard. And I finally just had to say, you know what? If I want to build this business, this is what I've got to do. And I mean, I had a full-time job. I was a full-time student. I get it. It's tough in the beginning, especially introverted. But it's
Joy,
worth it.
A tip, Joy, I want to give you is when you have the systems in place and you actually know what it is you need to be doing and when you need to be doing it, I promise you it can be done in about an hour a day. Okay. Exactly. About an hour a day. Now I will say, on the flip side of that, we do teach and we take about an hour on Sunday afternoon, or maybe early Sunday evening, or maybe you're a night person, you want to do it late at night, or maybe first thing Monday morning, like Jordan said, before the world wakes up. But to kind of plan your week, and there's some things that you can schedule and plan so that Monday through Friday, you're spending about an hour a day to build your business.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people in network marketing are doing this on a very part-time basis, and that's regardless if they have a job or not. Because even if they don't have a job, they're probably a stay-at-home mom and they're busy with the kids and the family and a bunch of other things. But most of them do have a job, whether that be full-time or part-time. Plus they have the family, the household, everything else to keep up with. And then they're trying to build this business on a very part-time basis. So we really emphasize, in fact, we tell our team, you can do this in about an hour a day. And we do teach, like, this little thing right here, it's powerful. But you do not have to be on it 24/7. It is
turn those notifications off.
Yep, keep it. You want to keep it to an hour a day so that when you're either working or your focus is on your family or wherever, you want to be present in the moment.
Absolutely. All right, you guys. So we're going to wrap this up. Do me a favor. Let me know. Did you get value from this video? Say yes if you got value. Don't forget, you can share this broadcast. I see that someone, and we'll be able to see it when I go over to Facebook, just on the StreamYard app. I can't see who shared, but shared to a group, shared to an individual. That's 2 entries in the drawing. That's awesome. We're giving away a $100 Amazon gift card to someone who shares this broadcast. So don't forget, hit the share button, come back, comment, and let us know that you shared, and we'll put your name in the drawing and we'll announce the winner on next week's episode of Coffee with K&J. So as we're wrapping this up, just to kind of give you guys the rest of the story, these numbers are from 2.5 years ago. All right. And we told you this is how we laid a foundation. But I want to tell you kind of what that can grow into. All right. Over the last 2.5 years, because of that launch, we went on and, we got into just this consistent activity, that 25, 14, 3, 1, 25, 14, 3, 1, like pretty consistent. And in doing that, we've been able to enroll over 100 people personally into our business. That has turned into a team that's done over $1.5 million in sales volume. And we were able, even just last month, to hit one of the top ranks in our company. And I honestly believe that had we not ever taken that step of that 90-day commitment of focus, we would have gotten there maybe, but it's that momentum that carried us through and allowed our business to really grow. So I want to encourage you to head over to globalfreedomcommunity.com/43 and download our proven launch formula. Check that out and put together your own plan, right? Maybe you're not going to invite 300 people. There were 2 of us, right? But maybe you're like, you know what? I'm going to invite 100 people to look at my business in the next 30 days. But I want to encourage you, make sure you have a plan for what you're going to do with those people, right? So like when they say yes, what are you going to show them? We showed our people a video, and in our launch formula download, we showed you what steps we led each person through so that they said yes. Now, what did we share with them? Now, if they liked that step, what was the next step? We have that all in our proven launch formula download for you, which you can get over on the blog post. So make sure you head over there and download that. And that shares really what we did with each step of the process to create those results. Be clear on what you're going to do so that you're maximizing, you're talking to the least number of people and getting the best results, enrolling the most, right? That's working smarter, not harder. Thank you guys for sharing. Awesome. But we want to just thank you for hanging out with us today. We had the best time on our very first YouTube live broadcast. It was super, super fun. And we'll be back here with you guys next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern for another episode of Coffee with K&J. So thank you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.